I suppose in a lot of farms, it's really going to be what suits the farm as of what breeding policy that you have. You can have a policy of breeding replacement ewe lambs in their first year. You can run them over dry and say breed them the following year as ewe hoggets, or in some farms there's say ewe lambs purchased in a ewe lamb stage or bought as ewe hoggets. I suppose it all depends on what suits the farm. There is a difference in economics, and really I suppose the most economical or the most attractive from a say profit point of view is breeding ewe lambs. Now it's very easy to say that, it doesn't suit every farm. If we look here, we have two say thin by supercross ewe lambs. They're here with the purple on the back of their heads. And what we'd say is that for breeding they'd have to be 60% mature weight. This lamb here is 52 kilos, the other lamb is 50 kilos, so they're very, very good for breed. They're ideal for breeding, so they are. What you want to do is you want to use an easy lamb and sire on them. The bonus is to get your lamb out of the system. So if we look over here and we see the two of them are very conveniently standing. This is a ewe hogget we had at the ploughing last year. We did a similar demo on breeding ewe lambs. And really what you want to do is that you have your ewe hoggets, your 60% mature weight, put an easy lamb and sire on it, so Charlie, Le France, Vindine, something like that that's easy lambing. First of all, they have to be run as a separate group. For the first few weeks after lambing, she has to get meal for 5-6 weeks depending on grass quality, and also we'd always be advising to creep feed your lamb. That lamb there is showing the benefits of creep feeding. He's 36 kilos as he stands. He's been getting about 300 to 500 grams of creep. He should have been weaned maybe about a week, 10 days ago. He's suckling now for 13 weeks. Ideally, to take the pressure off a ewe hogget, you'd have them say maybe suckling for 12 weeks. They're actually suckling a bit longer this year because of Tullamore Show, but that's what we have them breeding for this. So we have what difference does that do? Say to not breeding, that's going to have a replacement cost of about say 7 to 10 euros a head, whereas if you go down to a system where we've just pulled this ewe around here, and this is say your dry ewe hogget, whether you're buying or whether running or dry, your replacement cost is going to go up maybe to 15-20 euros. Now as you can see there very, very clearly, there's a visible difference in size. The both ewe hoggets are the same age. This ewe hogget is actually 75 kilos, where this one is 66 kilos. So that's where it comes down to preferential treatment. That ewe hogget needs to be weaned, needs to be put on very, very good quality grass, needs preferential treatment to make sure a lifetime performance isn't compromised, and to get her up here to this ewe hogget. I suppose I should have also mentioned, when you are looking to select, what you're looking for is good weight for age. You're looking for a ewe hogget that has maternal features, so she's a nice clean head, not too excessive in say body conformation, so you want lint. I'd always like to look for lint in a ewe hogget or in a ewe lamb, because you'll breed lint into your progeny. Same way here as we look for a Shirley lamb. It's a nice long Shirley lamb, good Shirley sire, tight wool, and that lamb will hang up very, very well. So I suppose, go back to the basics then, now go back to your key messages is, you want your ewe lambs to be 60% to mature weight at breeding if you're breeding them in the first year. Pick a lamb, ideally they'd be heavier, pick a lamb that's well grown, is maternal, as we said, has the good characteristics. If it doesn't suit your system, well then avoid it. If you do go down that route and you want to end up with this sort of couple here, you have to have preferential treatment. Run as a separate group, they get a bit of meal right up so to for the first 5-6 weeks depending on grass growth, grass quality, and your ewe lamb gets creep right up to feed. If you're buying, then I suppose the few messages on buying, biosecurity is big. Try and know where you're buying them for. Try and find out as much background information as of what they've been bred for. Ideally they've been bred from say a maternally bred ram, and also about the previous health treatments. When you're buying on any sheep onto a farm, there's a risk of bringing in diseases, so ideally you want to ask the farmer what sort of treatment she has, put a treatment plan in place. At a minimum, all sheep should be treated for external parasites, which dipping is the ideal for. They want to be foot batted and they want to be treated with a wormer. When you talk about treating with a wormer, you want to treat with ideally one of the new products, say one of the monopantals and maybe a moxidectin. If you want, I suppose, the more traditional traditional, it wouldn't be, say, the Rolls Royce treatment would be a levamisole and an ivermectin wormer. But keep them off pasture for 24 to 48 hours on concrete or indoors, and then turn them onto paddocks that have had sheep on them before. Lastly, then I suppose what you want is segregate them for 3-4 weeks, keep them monitored, try and keep a good eye or a good sort of monitoring system in place that gets any sort of, or highlights any disease quick, and that prevents any disease from spreading into the overall flock.